Next up today on Blueprint Has Gone Off on a Tangent is John Rogers, Chief Innovation Officer at CoreLogic. Hi, John. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Fantastic to be here.
CoreLogic, you guys are leading R&D in the biggest asset class in the world, U.S. real estate.
That's right.
How are you doing it?
So I run research and development for the company. We're very fortunate that we service over 1 million realtors for you and I to find a home. We touch about 95% of all loans through the mortgage origination and servicing processes, and a similar figure in the insurance space in terms of underwriting and claims. And because of all that, we collect over 22,000 data sources, a fax of a fax. Think of all the documents you and I sign when we buy a house. So we procure and manufacture that data, all the way through to point cloud data, which is 3D data. Think about satellite imagery, aerial imagery, drone imagery. And we then we've got a 21st century data manufacturing plant on all things property and location. And with that, you can build amazing insights on essentially the biggest asset class in the world.
I bet you can. Lots to unpack there. So we're talking about a $43 trillion industry here.
That's right.
The biggest asset class in the world. So let's first hone in on residential. And you mentioned climate impact on residences and insurance and mortgages. So what are you doing on the climate end, and how are you powering decisions there?
So we've built something called Climate Risk Analytics, and that helps companies measure, model, and mitigate the effects of climate change to every single structure, every single property.
At the asset level?
In the United States.
Wow.
So initially it goes up to 2050. As you're probably aware...
The year 2050.
Yes. So it's a predictive model, provides a financial risk profile to every structure. Obviously, that's helpful for federal agencies to help shape policy. Obviously, that's helpful for lenders to obviously provide loans and protect the financial economy of the housing ecosystem. Useful for insurers to set premiums and protect homes. So it's used in multiple ways. It's got 4 key ingredients.
What are they?
All the property information. So think about first floor height, roof age, roof material.
So property features.
Property features. Yeah. And obviously with CoreLogic, we've got the best view of the property. All the financial metrics. So think about valuation models, reconstruction costs, all the perils. Think about winter storms, hurricanes. We combine all that with the 4th ingredient, which is greenhouse emission models, which we take from the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, which is part of the United Nations. And with that, we literally simulate property per peril, 300,000 scenarios of, say, a hurricane against a particular property. And that provides a profile of the financial risk for that house. So
just want to reiterate that for a second. You simulate 300,000 possible scenarios.
Correct.
Per structure.
Correct. And that provides basically a bell curve, and you can provide a metrical average annual loss, which is a financial indicator that is very useful, obviously, to all the markets that we serve. So once you provide a financial measure, it really helps all the housing ecosystem really lean in and try and protect home ownership and also protect the financial stability.
It sounds like you also remove the bias by doing
exactly
that.
Right. Well, exactly. Once you provide a financial measure, definitely provides focus to the housing ecosystem. So we're working with, as an example, the Federal Reserve Board right now, and they're assessing the top 6 banks in the United States. So think of your Wells, your Citi, Bank of America, and we're simulating a hurricane event in the year 2050, understanding the impact to the book of business and to the homes, understand practices, and really help shape policy for the future to make sure that we
fascinating
home ownership.
The best way to predict the future, as they say, is to create it. And I think you're onto that. And I wanna talk about this truth data for all things property and location.
That's
right?
correct.
Because this is what I'm understanding from everything that you do, right?
That's correct.
You touch on a lot of points. However, you start at the asset level, and then you grow to also the neighborhood, the location factors, and then also the climate impact.
That's right. Well, and I love your phrase, the truth data set. It's interesting. If you think about, say, generative AI, that's actually shining a very strong light on the old adage of garbage in, garbage out. And you've probably seen a lot of the press reports where generative AI goes slightly awry and provides misinformation.
As they call it, hallucinations.
That's
I don't know who's giving acids to these generative AIs, but it's
that's exactly right. I was recently at the NARI event for real estate editors, and this lovely gentleman, 50 years in the business, asked ChatGPT about himself and told him he wrote a book that he never did, a contentious article that he never did, and much to his surprise, he had passed away in 2017. So obviously, if you don't have that truth data set, the outcomes will go awry. That's why, obviously, with a $43 trillion asset class, you want to work on the truth data set, and that's what CoreLogic has.
I mean, I can think of something more important to have a truth data set in this quote-unquote post-truth era that we live in.
Exactly right.
You gave us a little teaser this morning about a product that you're working on for affordable housing development.
Yes.
I want to hear about it.
Yes. So we're in pilot mode. We're working with several areas around the United States, in Memphis, Ohio, Columbus, and soon, hopefully, in Philadelphia, where some of the challenges in affordable housing, obviously, a very complex issue. There's a 4.3 million housing shortage in the United States. You could argue there is plenty of subsidies, but there's challenges in pushing that through the funnel to develop affordable homes. So and typically it takes double-digit months to several years to get housing approval.
Yeah, the pre-development phase.
Exactly right. So we've built a solution where its aim is to solve the conundrum, provide and build affordable homes for a certain median income, and also provide an ROI back to the land and building developer. So we've built a clean room, which allows multiple groups to come in. So think of CDCs, lenders, building developers, land developers, MLS title companies, and we can research together, press a button, and out pops basically P&Ls about different options of building affordable homes. Because remember CoreLogic, we have all the neighborhood information, valuations, all the reconstruction costs, construction costs, so we can build this model very, very quickly and run it in an afternoon, basically.
I mean, that sounds wonderful because it's not only streamlining development of affordable housing, but you're also bringing the different parts that go into the development process to collaborate all under one roof.
Right. And that's exactly the key word, is collaboration, and it provides transparency. I'll give you an example. Often when affordable housing developments in the planning, in the feasibility and planning phase, there's not enough density of comparables. So there's an appraisal gap, basically. So we've built models to help understand what the valuation should be, which would actually then promote subsidies. So that helps the process and get it signed off rather than slowed down or rejected. We really want to push more development through that funnel.
Fascinating. I mean, talk about collaboration, one of Tangent's values. So perfect segue to our next question. I'm going to give you a collaboration superpower, John.
Yes.
If you had to pick a person, dead or alive, that you'd like to do a partnership with, that you'd like to collaborate with, who would that be?
That's a great question. Who would I like to collaborate? Well, I'd love to collaborate with the chief scientists of NASA. They do amazing work on weather events, sea level rises, different gravitational pulls across the Earth. And then obviously they're trying to colonize Mars. So at some point we need to work out the structures on Mars, but that might be a few years off. But that'd be my
collaboration superpower.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you for that curveball answer. John Rogers, Chief Innovation Officer at CoreLogic. Thank you so much for coming to Tangent here at Blueprint in Vegas.
Thank you so much, Edward. Cheers. Thank you.
If you like what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review Tangent and share the show with a friend. This episode is produced by me, Edward Cohen. Thanks for listening to Tangent, and remember, collaboration is our superpower. So stay curious and always be learning.